All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the fourth presentation of the ID Pro track. And this time, we would like to introduce you the most disruptive presentation of all, from probably one of the most disruptive and modern companies, who is probably using, when they take Uber, they usually pay with Ethereum currency. The company's name is Uber Ether, and the presenter is Andrew. Please welcome. And I'm going to do exactly what he suggested. Sit down, shut up, and listen.
Good morning, everybody. Can't believe that Identiverse is almost over. So much information that was presented to us. How do I capture everything? What do I do? A technique that you can use is active listening. What is active listening? Active listening is not just listening to hear somebody just talk. Active listening is the intent to understand, not be understood. Let me repeat that one more time for you. Active listening is the intent to understand, not be understood. You will be a better listener, right? As you get better and better at active listening, you can talk to your clients and understand the real reason why that requirement was written, or what's that change request for. It can help you with resolving communication issues between you, your peers, even your stakeholder. You avoid misunderstandings. I want to hear a show of hands here. Anybody here who have been in meetings where you came out saying, yeah, I got that, I know it, but your friend in that corner had a different idea of what just went on? Yeah? Oh yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? And the last part is, the better you are at active listening, the more you can sell that project to your senior leadership and get that buy-in. Imagine buying a home. You work with a real estate agent, right? You tell that real estate agent your requirements for your dream home, what you want, what you look at, how many doors, how many garages. So imagine when your real estate agent takes you to that dream home and is nothing like what you just said. You feel pretty upset, right? Now, think about it from a stakeholder standpoint. This person has given you all these requirements, and you're like, I got that. And when you show them the prototype, it's nothing like what they described. Your stakeholder probably look like this guy. This guy looks pretty upset, doesn't he? As cybersecurity experts and consultants, when we come into meetings, we already come in with this preconception that we are not there for them. We're not sympathetic to them. We don't care. Another misnomer that we have for us is all we care about is their requirements. We don't care about the person at all, and they feel annoyed by us. Man, compliance made me talk to this guy. I need him to get out as soon as possible. So the problem that we already have is we don't have trust, and the whole point of active listening is to build trust. Studies have shown that there are 4 common communication methods that we do every day on a daily basis. We read, we write, we talk, and we listen. If you look at the graph here, you'll notice that we spend the majority of the time listening. So it should be easy, right? Not really true. Look at the guy to your left, all right, am I right? This guy looks like he's so excited to be here, right? But in his head, he's probably thinking, I got back-to-back meetings. This lady needs to hurry up. Or I got to get that email out before lunchtime. So you're pretty distracted. You're not really giving them your full attention. The next person is, I think everybody has been in these meetings where you're in a meeting, it's not really something you maybe should be a part of, and you go, you know what? What's on Twitter today? Oh man, the Wizards finally hired a GM. Thank God. These are 2 of many different distractions that we have in our meetings, when we talk to people, and at the end of the day, we're not getting the full requirements or the full understanding of what our stakeholder is telling us. Stephen Covey once said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Again, I want to see a show of hands here of all the people here who have been on those conference calls, and you have those people just itching to get that 2 cents in. It's like, I can't wait to tell them my opinion. But the problem is, they didn't listen to the actual person telling them the information. It's a mess. With active listening, you gain 4 key items. You understand, you're learning, you're gaining information, and you're building trust. A couple years ago, I worked at a bank. I was a contractor. I'm working with the contracting officer, and we're having just casual conversations about user information, and then she mentioned Luxembourg. I'm like, I think I know where that is. It's Europe, right? During the conversation, she mentioned something about privacy laws, and they don't take information from the United States. So I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, why? And what I learned was Luxembourg has these laws where, again, they're very strict on their privacy, and if I didn't really listen to the person correctly, I might have written requirements that have said, hey, in the United States, we're gonna send some data from our home branch here, and let's just say Virginia, and to Luxembourg, and all of a sudden it gets denied. Look bad, right? So in that conversation, what I've done is a couple things. I've understood the problem. I learned something new. I learned that Luxembourg has these internet laws that are pretty stringent. I gained some more information about their process, and my hope is with those requirements that I've written, I build trust with my stakeholder. Early in my career, I was in these team meetings where I was tasked to learn processes and rate new requirements. The problem that we were having was we would have a meeting and we'd be like, do we have everything? Yeah, I think so. But then we realized we don't. So we had to create more meetings and more meetings and more meetings. The outcome was we missed deadlines, and senior leadership was not happy when I told them that I had to push back our project schedule 2 more weeks. So I decided to think about it and go, wait, what's going on? So I decided to take an observational approach to see why was it that we weren't gaining that information the first time or the second time. And what I learned from that was we didn't really listen that well. And during that time, I thought about a process to help not only myself, but my teammates be better listeners. And that is to sit down, to shut up, and to listen. So sit down. It's really your nonverbal cues. They always say, when you look at a picture, it's 1,000 words. But when you are showing your stakeholders some nonverbal cues, you may be thinking to yourself, I'm comfortable, but your stakeholder may be thinking, I don't think this guy wants to be here. The guy here, hopefully everybody knows who Walter is. He's a hilarious puppet from Jeff Dunham's skit, and he's always crossing his arms. And he's just like, you know. When you add the second part of leaning back, I hope I don't fall here, but if I'm leaning back with a stakeholder, crossing my arms, I'm showing something, I am exuding that maybe to my stakeholder that I don't care, that you need to hurry up. Peter, how's your Identiverse experience? Wait, what? Sorry, say it again? Distraction. When you talk to stakeholders and you're asking these questions, you know, I might be looking at you, but I'm actually looking at the camera, I'm looking at that light that's in my face right now, and you're not giving the full attention to your stakeholder, and they're like, hey man, where you're at? A great example of this was, I was in this meeting with a system owner and identity access management SME. They had this rapport, they were casual, they were talking to each other, but they forgot one thing. There's other people in the room with them. Topic went off topic, they're talking about conversations, so what did the other people do? They sat down on their laptops, started crossing their arms, doing their own thing, and then when they started asking questions, they were like, so how does that work? You can imagine the amount of requirements that we got out of that meeting. Next one is to shut up, which really is to pause. I work on this all the time. If you can't tell, I'm extroverted, love talking, can't stop talking. And one of the biggest cues that I noticed was in our meetings was we would interrupt somebody. Look at Taylor Swift here, all right? Won her award, best album, all of a sudden Kanye comes up, it's like, hey, excuse me. She was interrupted. What does that cause? Your stakeholder might be upset, they just cut them off, which is really rude, to be honest with you. Or the worst part of it all is they might have forgotten what they were saying to you, and you just lost some key information because of that. The second part is firing off questions. Again, love talking. It's what I do best. Can't shut up. So I'm looking at my stakeholder and going, excuse me, when's that project gonna be done? Who's your resources? What are you doing here? I didn't give them any time to think about that. Let it marinate. Maybe they want to formulate a proper answer to me. From peppering them questions, my response I would get is, so what's the first question again? So what I decided to do was, let me implement this acronym called WAIT. So every single time that I am asking a question, and when I'm about to open my mouth, I remind myself, why am I talking? The last part is being closed-minded. We are all experts here. We have a specific niche that we're good at. We're architects, we're consultants like what I do. And a lot of times when you go into these meetings, you might have a preconceived solution already in place. And that is a problem as consultants, even architects. We already know the solution, but we're not really understanding the problem, or we haven't even listened to the problem. Could you imagine just sitting there, walking to a meeting, you think you know the answer, all of a sudden you just blurt out, oh, it's this answer. Everybody looks at you like, dude, we just told you that doesn't make sense. It's irrelevant. You look pretty dumb, right? So really, being closed-minded is not really good. You really want to come in open mind. Be non-judgmental. Be open. You never know. There might be a different reason that this solution doesn't work. Another great example is this. You're a cloud expert. You come in, 15 years experience. You've done migrations on apps numerous times. You walk into a meeting. Stakeholder is like, yeah, we need to migrate apps to AWS. And you've done it so many times, you cut them off saying, I've done it many times. No sweat, no problem. By the way, where's my help? When am I getting paid? When's the schedule? We come to realize that when you start designing that solution, you cut the person off. You didn't really get the information. You pepper them with questions, and since you're so closed-minded, you forgot that two of those systems were homegrown. They're not cloud ready. What do? You go back to ask for a meeting. Question is, you gonna get that meeting? Probably not. The last part is to listen, to really understand. Before I became an identity access management consultant, I was a business analyst, financials, whatever. My job was simple. Tell me your system, tell me your requirements. I write it down for you, no problem. I was taught to ask why 8 times. Why do this process? Why does this work? Why did you use this solution? What I realized was my stakeholders felt defensive or felt challenged, like I'm asking them, that's a dumb solution. And so at the end of the day, they didn't give me the answer I was looking for. What I started to realize was, let's really use more exploratory questions. So tell me more about this. How's that system work? And what I realized from that was I was actually inviting information. I wasn't challenging them, and they were really helpful in giving me that information. We, again, cybersecurity experts, this whole Identiverse, acronyms galore, PAM, SSO, MFA, DDR. DDR to me can mean Dance Dance Revolution. To you, it can mean, it can be something to do with RAM, Exactly. So the problem that we have is, I think I understand everything, just like our friend here, Michael Scott from the office, but I really understand nothing. And to really work with that, what I did was this. Use mirroring. Look at your stakeholder. So I want to make sure I understand your question. You want me to do X, Y, and Z? Yes? Or, so I want to make sure I heard you correctly. What you're doing is you're mirroring what you said to the stakeholder. Maybe you're paraphrasing, but at the end of the day, your stakeholder will either agree with you, saying, yep, we're on the same page, we're good, or they'll disagree with you, but you have a resolution. And then after that, they'll correct you, and then you both will be on the same page. Do you remember that our little stakeholder friend earlier? Dude wasn't happy, right? So the last picture here is really being empathetic to our stakeholder. And really what that means is when we want to be there together with the stakeholder. We want to make sure that we're good with them. Man, I know that's a frustrating process. You know what? Let's work on this together. I got you. You just make your stakeholder at ease. You want them to feel this person isn't a consultant that just comes in, grasps my requirement, and leave. They actually want to help me. They want us to be on the finish line together. So what are the payoffs of active listening? How does it help you? You gain trust, you get reciprocated by others, you're solving problems, and you're improving productivity. Let me expand that a little more. So all my examples, we work on gaining trust from our stakeholders. And the more they feel open and they feel that we're in there for the long haul with them, they'll reciprocate that. What that means is you'll be on a meeting, they'll be like, you know what, I know that person that could help you. They'll reach out for you. They'll introduce that person for you. They're helping you. You're a team. The better you are listening, the more you hear more problems, the more you're solving them. And finally, productivity. We're solving problems. We're getting things done on time. We're being productive. We're not wasting time. And really what that means is I'm either delivering on time, we have minimal defects, or we are just basically doing on time. I messed that up, but that's okay. So how do you make your active listening better? So I've given you some examples to how you can improve your skills, but there's some others. Observe others. The next time you're at a meeting, make it a case study. Watch others. Observe. When your peer is asking a question to your stakeholder, see how they're reacting. Maybe you want to use that next time, or maybe they're reacting negatively. After that meeting, maybe you can do a little scrum meeting and go, hey, you know what? That question, probably shouldn't ask that anymore. Or, you know, I noticed he felt uneasy as we started to pepper him with these questions. And use that to your advantage for your next meeting. The second one is listening workshops. 5-10 years ago, I don't think I've ever seen a listening workshop. You can see a presentation workshop, you can see a better writing workshop, but I didn't really see a lot of listening workshops. Today, there's an enormous amount of listening workshops because listening is very, very essential to our profession. There are online virtual ones available today, or they can come to your business and teach your entire business. The third way to improve is books and audiobooks. And the two ones that come to mind that I enjoy reading is Malin Briley Allen's Listening the Forgotten Skill and Mark Golston's Just Listen. So in Listening the Forgotten Skill, what Malin Briley does is she has an array of exercises to really see what is your listening capacity, what are you really deficient on, and how do you improve that. Mark Golston, he has various techniques that can help you deliver your message and then understand that feedback that you get back from him. And of course, sit down, shut up, and listen. I want to end on one of my favorite quotes, and it's from a philosopher, Zeno from Chathaphone. Make sure I said that right. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should listen more than we say. So I hope that this is a little different presentation than most Identiverse here, but I really feel like regardless of your situation, regardless of your job title, you can take this information, use your next presentation, your next meeting, whatever meeting you have with your stakeholders. Be on time, get your requirements right, be proactive, and be successful. My name is Andrew Chathaphone. I am a solution catalyst for Uber Ether. I'd like to thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Questions?
Anybody? Are you listening? Were you listening carefully? I'm gonna check. One check. What European country was named in the middle of this presentation and why? Europeans shouldn't answer. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. I believe what we're going to do as a part of our ID Pro program is definitely starting to listening even more to the audience. Because us as a professional group, we're not, we exist for audience, right? So we would like to listen to you. You please bring us as much knowledge as you would like to bring if you want to get knowledge from us. But we definitely would like to listen more about what you want, what you would like to expect from our track, from our organization. How can we help you? Okay? Thank you very much. If you have any questions for Andrew personally, we still have extra time. Thank you, and I hope you're going to stick for another lesson. Thank you.